Okay, so what I'm going to show you now is called Sound Replacer. It's an alternative to triggers if you want to stick with more of a organic kind of drum set sound, but you want to kind of switch out some of those kick drum noises, stuff like that. So here's what I did. I just basically opened up a program called Drums. It's from a band. They sent me kind of 8 tracks. Guessing some are toms, kick, snare, of course. Yeah, let's see what this sounds like. I'm guessing it's going to be bad. Okay, so cymbals aren't too bad, but everything else does sound not very good. So let's go ahead and focus on the kick right now. Let's go ahead and check this out. Mute it up. Oh my god. Yep, so that's kick. Let's go ahead and see what we can do with this awful sounding kick drum. Sounds like a box. So, you could try doing some EQ stuff, maybe dip out some of those lows, mess with compression. I mean, and in the long run, you could tweak and tweak and tweak this until you get something solid, but here's kind of an alternative if you have, not that greatest sounding kick drum that you want to kind of mess with. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm basically going to highlight it. If you wanted to do the whole session and switch out the kick, basically you double click that and it would select your entire region. So you do that, but just so I can show you the difference, I'm just going to select a small portion. So, 5-second portion here. So I'm going to go to my plugins, and this program is called Sound Replacer. It's pretty cheap. I can't remember exactly how much it costs, but yeah, Sound Replacer. So bring that up. It kind of looks like this. You got 3 different levels that you're going to do. So what happens is my computer's a little slow, so it takes a second, but what I basically do is I have kind of some presets. I could probably include that on a DVD. But what it's going to do is have the death metal kind of thing. You don't need 3 separate levels, of let's say your kick drum hits, quieter in this level, and the next one's louder. You don't really need 3 different levels unless you want to get intricate and bring in, independent samples of kind of a softer kick and a louder click. We're talking death metal, so everything's going to sound exactly the same. So, let's go ahead and try my cool kick. I can't remember what sample it is, but basically if you see here, the only one that's up is blue. So anything is gonna, anything that hits above this mediocre level is gonna be replaced with a sample. So you click here, you kind of pick your sample, and it lets you allots you, location to do all that stuff. So, I got tons of samples, and I keep them under, my program Fruity Loops files, just because it's easier that way. So, I got that. In my pack, so I could, if I wanted to, bring in ridiculous amount of kicks, snare replacements, stuff like that. So but I won't bug you guys too much with all that stuff. What I'm going to do is I still have just a generic setup, which is I believe it's just a standard 309 kick, one of these. So that's already set, to the XR10 kick drum sample, which I'll include some of that stuff. So let's go and process that. And if you notice, it already just replaced it. So if you check it out, here's the organic, and now here, is basically replaced with fake. So, you got, and that's more clicky. I think, I should have chose something a little more basic. Let's see the other presets I got. Instead of going through all the folders, it just is a preset. It saves basically the file you want to replace. And once again, you just select, the save. That kind of diskette, and it'll load it. So let's process it. Let's see what this one sounds like. Yeah, so I mean, it sounds a little bit better. I would still suggest putting some EQ on it. So let's go ahead and pop that on. It's kind of a 7-band EQ. Make it hit a little more. That click's kind of irritating. We'll dumb it down a little bit. So it still sounds kind of clicky. You could interchange your samples till you're happy with one. I'll see what I could do with just kind of a basic D-verb. Let's give it kind of a room tone, maybe, some. Sounds a little more organic, still kind of you know, that click is seriously irritating, so. Okay, so that sounded better. So let's go and check it, you know, and once again, we don't have the snare replaced, anything like that, but you can do that with sound replacer. You can replace entire snare drums. In fact, you know, fuck it, let's do it right now. I'm going to select this region, and basically, I'm going to add, you know, sound replacer. So we got sound replacer. Then I got a little snare one. Let's try this one. Oh, not found. Nice. Okay, so let's see what that happens. So it's, once again, it's the same kind of thing. About this level, with the blue, everything that hits below this is going to be nothing, quiet. It's basically like a gate, and it's replaced with, you know, this sampled XR10. So let's go and pop that in. And then, you know, here we got our snare. I think it's going to be loud, but let's check it out. So yeah, that sounds pretty electronic, but, you know, mixed with the other organic stuff, it's going to sound a lot more decent. But let's go and check that out. Wow, that snare is overpowering. Okay, maybe lower in the mix. Yeah, so right there, I mean, you just use sound replacer to replace the kick drum. Now what I'm going to do is have it go from this sample right here, which is the sound replace kick and snare, to the just organic they just gave me. So here we go, let's check this out. There you go. Terrible, right? So from, you know, solid sounding stuff like this to just organic garbage, and you fix that sound, the kick and snare, only using sound replacer and some good samples. So that's how you use sound replacer to, you know, tweak out your stuff if you're not into fully triggering your set or just want to buy the plug-in and kind of mix it with organics. You can also, you know, do kind of a duplicate, you know, like basically duplicate, you know, this entire kick drum, you know, make this a, you know, I'll show you, like, you know, get the sound replacer on here. You know, I think I threw that on it. So I'll replace, you know, the duplicate, and then I'll keep the organic kick drum in there, and I'll kind of balance them out. Use the organic original and the new sound replace and kind of even it out. So let's go ahead and check this. You know, we'll solo it up, but here we go. So, you know, organic, and then, you know, not organic. So, you know. So I kind of mixed it in a little bit, you know. So you got the organic and the sound replaced. You know, it's up to you if you're a traditionalist or not, but yeah, that's how you use sound replacer, and it definitely could benefit your music.